Welcome. Welcome back. God. It's early for me. I'm sorry. But welcome back for another episode of One More Round Fights, bitch. I'm your host, Gaff. I'm here every Sunday doing the same shit I always do. Giving you tips, tricks, parlays, tips, all that shit. And guess what? If you showed up for CP units, we had another winning week, baby. Another winning week. That's right. Another winning week. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. You just got to join us. Why is it so bright over here? Just because I turned that on? That's annoying. I want to turn that off. It's really annoying to me. I don't know why I never noticed that until now. So we're just going to go brighter on that. All right. Yeah, I feel better. But yeah, so what a week of fights. We had a lot of stuff go down. We had 3 boxing cards. We had 2 MMA cards. We had stakes. We had everything. Everything was on the line. Don't forget to follow on social. Scan the QR codes below. Scan the QR code on the left for main card minutes. Scan the QR code on your right for this your channel where you get CP units. You get the Sunday breakdown. The Sunday recaps and then breakdowns of the next week's cards. A lot of stuff between the 2 channels here. Building an empire. So please scan the QR codes below. Become a fan of the main card minute and One More Round. And don't forget to follow on social. One More Round Fights. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, all that. It's a different handle on X because Elon sucks and has a character limit, but it's all good. It's One More Round F8 there. Don't forget to check that out as well. And then if you got some wins from this here channel, send them into one more round fights at gmail.com. That is one more round fights at gmail.com. And shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off. That is promo code One More Round for 10% off. Without further ado, let's get into the card, right? We got mad shit to talk about. Let's start off smooth. With guess what? Lerone Murphy picks up a big win over Josh Emmett. Lerone Murphy. Oh my god, what is up with my hair today? I didn't do this. To be honest, I ran into some bullshit. And for that reason, I'm terribly unprepared. But it's all good. So Lerone Murphy defeats Josh Emmett by unanimous decision. That's right. Unanimous decision. Scorecards were 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. Lerone Murphy may have dropped the first round. It was dropped on all 3 judges' scorecards to Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett did a lot of good work in that first round. He landed a lot of good strikes. He was pushing him back. I believe he even threatened with a big takedown. Round 2, round 3 pretty much was Lerone Murphy traffic. Lerone Murphy did a lot of good work. He was landing kicks. He was landing elbows. He cut Josh Emmett right at the top of his head, I think multiple spots throughout the fight. And then, he was just staying on the outside. He abandoned his wrestling heavy game that he normally goes with and just went for the striking, which I figured would happen against a wrestler like Josh Emmett. Now, round 4 was a toss-up. Some people gave it one way, some people gave it the other. And then round 5, pretty much, it could have went either way for me. It went to Emmett. I feel like he was pushing it back more and doing a lot more work. I had it a close split decision. I could have gave it to Emmett. I could have gave it to Murphy. But Murphy gets the job done, and he moves on and stays undefeated. He does not get a loss on his record. Still no losses for him, just that one draw against Zabira Kugov. So great to see that Lerone Murphy gets a big win. We have a prospect, an English prospect on the rise at featherweight. Now, what's next for Lerone Murphy? I did say we have a featherweight prospect on the rise at featherweight, and we had a featherweight prospect not too long ago by the name of Arnold Allen. I would love to see that fight next. The battle for the featherweight English up-and-comer. Arnold Allen versus Lerone Murphy. Give it to me. Book it. I want to see that next. I want to see that as a co-main on the next English card. Please, a co-main on the next English card. Co-main. Okay? Co-main. Thank you. And then for Josh Emmett, there's a lot of tough matchups, but I think it's time to be letting these younger guys take a little bite at your ankles there, or at least let somebody else make a name off you. And I see Aljamain Sterling sitting number 9. I think Aljamain Sterling should get a shot at Josh Emmett. I think that's a pretty decent fight between two vets in the game. I'd love to see that. If Aljo doesn't get that fight, then I'd probably like to see Yusuf Zalal get a big jump and try to fight Josh Emmett. So those would be two fights I'd like to see Josh Emmett get into next. We'll see what happens, but anything can happen with the UFC. They'll book anything these days, you know. But yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on that because, you know, it was a good fight, but not too much happened. The stakes weren't too high. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, the rest of the UFC Vegas 105 card. There was a lot of good fights on here for me anyways. But a few upsets here. Let's talk about one of them right now. Pat Sabatini defeats Joe Anderson Brito via unanimous decision 30-26, 30-26, 30-27. Wow. Pat Sabatini uses a wrestling-heavy game to absolutely dominate Joe Anderson Brito. Brito had nothing to show him. He couldn't land any heavy strikes because Pat Sabatini was already in on his hips and taking him down. Hands wrapped around his butt, sucking his legs out and bringing him to the mat. Joe Anderson Brito couldn't do a goddamn thing. Pat Sabatini used the same game plan that his teammate Sean Brady used against Leon Edwards. You can't help but think that the UFC had a plan here to set up 3 Philly boys 3 weekends in a row. Sean Brady one weekend. And we had Joe Pyfer last weekend. And we had Pat Sabatini this weekend. You can't help but think there was a motive here to push that team and to push the Philly boys in some capacity, because that can't be a coincidence. There's no way that you couldn't have gotten them all on the same card and then that you'd have to do it 3 fights in a row, that we're talking about the same team 3 weeks in a row. It could have been 3 weeks in a row if Joe Pyfer got to his fight, but yeah. You know, I see patterns. I'm a pattern seer, and I saw that pattern right away. Chang Ho Lee defeats Cortavius Romeus via TKO, punches round 2, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. I told you guys, monster team is coming. Monster team's coming. Chang Ho Lee won the Road to UFC tournament, had great fights. All right. All action fighter, can do it on the ground, can do it on the feet, can wrestle. Okay. Cortavius Romeus is pretty much a one-way fighter. He needs to grapple. He needs to submit you to get the win. Well, it wasn't going that way with Chang Ho Lee. There was so many fun scrambles in this fight. This was probably the fight of the night, in my opinion, because of so many scrambles, so many changes in top control, so many submission attempts, so many landed blows. There was a crazy cut, punches to the I mean, it had everything. So shout out to Chang Ho Lee and his team. Shout out to Cortavius Romeus. Even though he lost his last 2 fights, I believe he keeps his job because every fight this guy's in, it's an exciting fight. So shout out to him and his team. I enjoyed that fight. For me, it was the most entertaining fight of the night. Cortavius Romeus' nickname is "Are you not entertained?" No, my friend. We were very much entertained. Thank you so much for that fight. Brad Tavares and Extreme Couture defeats Gerald Mearshart via unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Brad Tavares did what I expected him to do, come out strong, win 2 rounds, and then coast towards the end. Gerald Mearshart winning that last round, probably getting more active, getting a lot of clinch time, threatening with a takedown and getting one, not really submitting him, but did a great job of trying to get back in the fight. So Gerald Mearshart, you know, even though he gets his second loss in a row that I expected, because that's the trend for both of these fighters, they win, then lose 2 in a row. They win, then lose 2 in a row. They win, then lose 2 in a row. Well, Brad Tavares had just lost 2 in a row, so I expected a win from him. And Gerald Mearshart only lost 1. So I was expecting his second loss. It was basically a match made in heaven for me. It was the easiest thing I saw. I threw it in multiple parlays. One of them cashed at least. So thankfully. But yeah. Ode Osborne defeats Louis Garul via TKO, punches round 2, 1 minute and 54 seconds. Shout out to Luke Nocita in the main card minute. He gave me the pick there. I was stubborn going with Louis Garul, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me ride with you on this. Threw it on Ode Osborne points and Ode Osborne money line. Obviously, the points didn't hit because he TKOs Louis Garul, but I'm glad I got a little money back on the Ode Osborne money line. So shout out to Luke on that. And then Torrez Finney Smith. I mean, I don't know why I said Smith at the end. I'm thinking of Dorian Finney-Smith on the freaking Lakers for some reason. Torrez Finney defeats Robert Valentin via split decision, 27-30, 29-28, 29-28. To be honest, that 27-30 seems the closest to me of what should have actually happened in this fight. I mean, this is an MMA fight, not a boxing fight and not a wrestling fight. It is an MMA fight, which means the first criteria is damage. Torrez Finney-Smith didn't land any damage in this fight for me. Now, round one could have gone to him because he did have a majority of the control time, and Robert Valentin didn't do much. But round 2 and 3 was all Valentin for me. Even though Finney was getting the clinch and holding him there, all the strikes, all the punches, all the damage, all the shots were getting landed by Robert Valentin. If I'm a judge watching that fight, I give rounds 2 and 3 to Valentin. Valentin wins 29-28. But hey, that's not the fight that we got. We got a 27-30 and 2 29-28s for Torrez Finney. And it is what it is. No knock on Torrez Finney, but if you want to win in the UFC, my guy, you got to land some damage. You can't just wrestle people and hold them places. That is a style that is not going to please Dana White. That is a style that's not going to please the UFC. That is a style that's not going to please the fans. That's the style that's not going to please the media. Nobody's happy with that fight. So, I mean, you got the win, but at what cost? Because I guarantee nobody's going to match you up with somebody that's going to give you a fight like that again. They're going to give you a goddamn hammer next, and you better hope that your striking is up to par. Because if you got to go back to that wrestling game like you just did against Robert Valentin, a guy that just got wrestled and submitted in his last fight in a tough finale easily, and that's your bread and butter, and you couldn't do that to him, man, you're going to have a tough go in the UFC. So back to the drawing board, get some work done in the gym, and hopefully you come out way stronger next time, because that performance is not something that's going to move you up in the ranks. Before I get into the prelims, let's get into these comments here. Phoenix in the house. Phoenix says, fuck, 1:43 a.m. on Monday. Start work in less than 4 hours. You are my sleep track. Respectfully, all love, bruv. Thank you, Phoenix. Thanks for showing up, bro. I appreciate you. Big love to Bong Island Luke. Yeah, big love to Bong Island, because he gave me that pick. If I didn't have that pick, man, that would have been an L on that fight. I swear that would have been an L on that fight. I swear to you. On the prelims, Dion Barbosa defeats Diana Belbita via submission. Arm triangle choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 13 seconds. I told you guys, if you showed up for CP units on Saturday, I did tell everyone, please go bet the Diana Barbosa round 1 submission. Diana Belbita always loses in round 1 by sub. Dion Barbosa tends to get a lot of round 1 submissions. It was a match made in heaven. It looked dicey at first because Diana Belbita was fighting like hell and staying in the fight. She refused to sub. She even grabbed her leg to try to alleviate the blood going into her neck from the choke. But in the end, Dion Barbosa gets the sub, just like we called it. You're welcome if you cashed. And if you didn't, I'm sorry, but you should listen to me more. Reese McKee defeats Daniel Frunza via TKO doctor stoppage. He gets an ill cut over his lip. You could see the cartilage and the pieces connecting his lip in there. It was disgusting. One of the worst cuts on the lip I've seen in a long time. They had to call it in between rounds. Unfortunately, Daniel Frunza was throwing hammers. He had a chance, but Reese McKee just caught him good, and Reese McKee ends up getting the TKO win. We thought it was going to be a sub. If you went with a finish, good for you, because that was still plus money. Loma Lukbanmi defeats Estela Nunez via unanimous decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Loma Lukbanmi definitely should have got a finish here. Her opponent comes in on very short notice. Her previous opponent drops out. You're a striker. You have submission wins on your record. You were basically taunting and showboating her the entire fight. You should have done way more and finished her this fight. No offense, but you do get the unanimous decision win. So good on you there. No parlays cash, because you were minus 900. In what world is a female fight has anyone at a minus 900 that's not Kayla Harrison or Amanda Nunes? Why is anyone minus 900 in the UFC or to the books right now? That was absolutely crazy. How is Martin Budai not minus 900, when he has a 40-pound weight advantage at heavyweight. But you're going to give Loma Luke on me minus 900? Shame on you, books. Shame on you, DraftKings. Shame on you, FanDuel. Shout out to Victor Henry. Victor Henry defeats Pedro Falcao via unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Victor Henry, old vets doing good tonight. Let me say, the old vets. Shout out to Brad Tavares. Shout out to Victor Henry. Shout out to Loma Lukbanmi. Shout out to Josh Emmett, not looking bad in a close loss. You know, the old guys are showing out tonight. Martin Budai defeats Uran Saltibaldiev via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Saltibaldiev, a light heavyweight coming up to heavyweight, and gave Martin Budai an absolute fucking war. This fight was a war. I thought this was going to end quickly or it was going to be a nice slow burn, but it was a fun heavyweight fight. Budai putting him up against the fence, landing big shots, landing big foot stomps. Saltibaldiev getting off the fence, landing big right hands, almost putting Budai away with a big right straight in the third round, wobbling him pretty bad, making him do the stanky legs. It was a good fight, man. If you want to go back, watch some heavyweight slop that'll get you going, go ahead and watch yourself some Budai versus Uran Saltibaldiev. All right. And let's open up the card. Talita Alencar defeats Vanessa Demopoulos. Unanimous decision, 30-26, 30-27, 30-27. Vanessa Demopoulos, I should have known this because the broadcast opened with saying that Talita Alencar was a 5-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion and that she knew Vanessa Demopoulos when Demopoulos was a white belt. Right then, my dumbass should have ran to the books and been like, Alencar decision. But no, I stuck with Demopoulos decision. Demopoulos literally didn't land any damage this fight, pretty much laid on her back the entire fight defending submissions. So unfortunately for me, I ended up taking an L on that fight. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. And that completes my coverage of the UFC card. Check out these comments. Manicured, whatever, says some random crap. I don't know what that is. We're going next. We're going next. Jason Jackson submits Andre Koreshkov. Man. This was rear naked choke, round 2, 4 minutes and 21 seconds. The referee did Koreshkov no favors. Let me tell you, no favors. Koreshkov eats some elbows to the back of the head, bleeding pretty badly in a very bad spot right at the top of the head. Basically, the spot where they tell you not to touch a baby's head. Right there is where Jason Jackson lands an elbow on Andre Koreshkov. Now, they gave him 5 minutes. They gave him way more than 5 minutes, if we're being honest, to recover from this. And there was no time clock, to be fair. They just let the time, keep going and going and going and going. And Koreshkov looked dazed. He sat back, head up against the fence, not even in a stable position. His corner keeps assuring the ref, no, he's good to go. He's good to go. I don't even think this corner really asked him if he was good to go, because I feel like Koreshkov would have been like, nah, man, what is going on? He just hit me in the back head. I'm bleeding and I could barely figure out what's going on. My equilibrium's off. But they marched him right back out there. And Jason Jackson, the ass kick machine, did exactly what he was supposed to do. He dropped his dazed opponent, took his back, sunk in a choke, squeezed more blood out of his head, and put him to sleep. And it was an easy win for Jason Jackson. Shout out to Jason Jackson, former Black Zillion. I believe now he's with Killcliff. What a win. And you may ask yourself, what's next for him after a win like that? Well, somebody headlined the prelims, a young Haitian male by the name of Thad Jean. Somebody that I've been telling anybody that would listen about for the last year. I've been telling you guys about Tszyu. Tszyu this, Tszyu that. And guess what? He knocked out Berkhamov in the first round, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Got himself an absolutely huge win on Thursday and set himself up for a matchup against Jason Jackson. Tszyu, Jason Jackson. That's the next matchup. Jason Jackson and Tszyu faced off in the cage afterwards. They're set up for their matchup next. I am so excited for that fight because either Tszyu shows us he is of that level that he can take on anybody at welterweight, or Jason Jackson shows us that he's still the man and he's truly the ass-kicking machine. So I'm excited for no matter what happens in that fight. Shout out to Tszyu, IET. Shout out to Jason Jackson. We got a Jamaican-Haitian matchup coming up next. And for all the Jamaicans and the Haitians out there, you already know that runs deep. So I'm excited to see. I can't wait to see that fight. I don't know when they have it booked, but that's going to be a fun one. Do not miss that fight when it comes. Do not miss that fight when it comes. Jason Jackson and Tszyu is going to be fireworks. I promise you that. I promise you. Now let's get into my fighter spotlight of the week before I get into more PFL. Now I started this segment off. Fighter spotlight started with Tszyu. Okay, so I'm not going to do another one. Of course, I'm not going to do another one. But there was somebody on the card that did something big, and I got to give him their shine. Jesus Pinedo. Jesus Pinedo. Out of Cayo, Peru. 28 years of age, born June 22nd, 1996. Okay? He trains at a Pitbull Martial Arts Center. He's been training there since 2013 at Lima, Peru. Now, Jesus Pinedo is closely associated with coach Ivan Iberico, a renowned NBA figure in Peru. And he's maintained a strong bond with him since the ages of around 16, 17 years old. He's been doing martial arts since a very, very young age. Now he's 6 foot. He's a lightweight with a 74-inch reach. He usually fights orthodox, but can switch to southpaw. He's 24-6, 15 KOs, and 4 subs. All right. Now, he has the traditional MMA career in which he took a few losses early in his career, learned from them, and obviously made him much stronger because he's gotten a plethora of finishes since. Now, he started his career against Luigi Tapello with a big TKO at 300 Sparta, which is a promotion in Peru. It was a first-round finish on my mom's birthday, July 17th, 2013. That's not when she was born, but that's her birthday. But anyways, Miguel Morales was a unanimous decision win after that on the very next event at 300 Sparta, but then he loses his third fight against Jose Manuel Guevara at 300 Sparta 4. First loss of his career on October 10th of that very same year. Now, all of these fights are taking place in Lima, Peru. Okay, so close to his home gym. He takes on Marlon Gonzalez, gets a unanimous decision win, gets back on track, and another unanimous decision win over Victor Arata at Inca FC 25. So he switched promotions now. He's over at Inca FC. Gets his first loss in a split decision loss to former UFC vet Humberto Bandenay. Remember Humberto Bandenay? Remember him? He fought Mowgli Benitez. He fought Martin Bravo, Austin Arnett, Luis Garagori. He was a solid fighter, but that's the second loss of his career. And then loses again to Javier Oyarzabal by TKO. First TKO loss of his career. August 15, 2014. Buenos Aires, Argentina. This was the first time he fought outside of his home country. Okay? So he comes back to Peru, takes on Jose Zarus, gets a majority draw at Peru FC 18, September of 2014. So keep in mind, all of this is happening within a year. He's very active. Then racks off 5 wins in a row, 4 finishes. TKO's Jack Guzman at Inca FC, Warriors 2 in October of 2014. In December 3rd of 2014, he submits Signy Guzman with an armbar. These are both round 1 finishes, by the way. Arena Tour 6, June 26th of 2015. He TKO's Jonathan Ortega, round 1 in Argentina. Avenges his Argentina loss. Cicero Coutinho, TKO, round 1 in Peru at Inca FC, Warriors 4. And then gets a unanimous decision win over Federico at Arena Tour 7, September 19th in 2015. So he uses 2014 and 2015 to get right back on track, but takes one more fight at the end of 2015 in December 16th and loses by KO to Alonzo Verona. This was for the IFC Featherweight Championship. Some say it's a fight he shouldn't have taken. It was, very soon between his and his last fight. But he takes the L. It's okay, because he gets back on track as he always does with a bunch of TKOs. Guillermo Cedena and Marcelio Cavalcante get knocked out in round 1 at 300 Sparta 11 and 12. Then he submits Alonzo Verona at Redemption Fighters 3, submits Jefferson Angula at EMMA 11, submits Joaquim Neto at Inca FC 27, and wins the Featherweight Championship, the IFC Featherweight Championship. Okay? He finally gets the belt. Then takes on Carlos Alexandre, wins the 300 Featherweight Championship. Both of those promotions that we were talking about that he started in, 300 and Inca. Gets the championships in both of them. Guess what? Gets the attention of Dana White. Takes his first UFC fight and takes it at lightweight in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where he is 1-1. Sorry, 3-1, because he got the wins against Jonathan Ortega and Federico. And gets a win over Devin Powell at UFC Fight Night, Magny versus Ponzinibbio, November 17th, 2018, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Big win for him. Unfortunately, he would get only one more chance in the UFC after this, taking on John Makdessi and losing a unanimous decision. This was at UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus Pettis. You know this as the night that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was knocked out viciously against the fence by Anthony Pettis in Nashville, Tennessee. That was March 23rd of 2019. And that was the last time we saw him in the UFC. He goes on to regional promotions to fight at Iquitos Combat Championship 6. He TKOs Jose Luis Alegre. He TKOs Caio Tavares at Inca FC 33, returns to Inca. He KOs Elicardo Silva at Arena Global 10. And he TKOs Jenison Lima at Inca FC 33. I don't know why Inca FC 33 was the same. They have it listed as February 26th of 2020 and July 10th of 2022. Maybe they forgot their numbering. We're supposed to continue at 34 and fucked up. Who knows? But this leads us to the PFL, where he makes his debut against Gabriel Braga. Yes, the Gabriel Braga we just saw fight this past weekend. This was at PFL 1 in 2023. Interesting that they made them both fight on PFL 1 in 2025. Anyways, he loses that split decision in Las Vegas on April 1st of 2023. But in his very next fight, gets the biggest win of his career against a former PFL champion in Brendan Loughnane. Lands a big knee and follows up with punches and knocks out Brandon Loughnane in the very first round in Atlanta, Georgia, June 8th of 2023. This thrusts him into the PFL tournament where he takes on Bubba Jenkins, where he TKOs Bubba Jenkins at PFL 7, August 4th of 2023 in round 2, 4 minutes and 40 seconds in San Antonio, Texas. This was the 2023 PFL featherweight tournament semifinal. Now, Pinedo missed weight in this fight, but he made promises that he wouldn't do this again. And boy, did he not. And he never disappointed again, did he? Because he takes on Gabriel Braga at PFL 10 in 2023, November 24th, and knocks him out in round 3. Avenges his loss to Gabriel Braga, his very first loss in the PFL in Washington, D.C., and wins the 2023 PFL featherweight tournament. Then we see him again. And when do we see him? Fast forward to his performance this past Thursday, coming in at a more than minus 175 favorite against a very game opponent in Adam Boric, coming in at around a plus 150. And the Peruvian gets the job done again. He TKOs Adam Boric round 1, 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And guess what? This sets him up for a matchup with none other than somebody that would give him a fantastic banger of a trilogy, Gabriel Braga. We're going to get the trilogy next. Gabriel Braga versus Jesus Pinedo. Sorry, Pinedo. I had a burp there. Gabriel Braga won the first by split decision. Jesus Pinedo won the second by TKO. And we get to see the third, baby. So excited. This is why Jesus Pinedo is my fighter spotlight of the week. Shout out to him and shout out to his team. Let's go. Lazy Bed in the house. Lazy Bed says Lazy Bed runs on Duncan. I'm awake. Yeah, it was a tough one for me too, bro. I was up late last night watching F1. More to come on that in this week's wins. More to come on that in this week's wins. But anyways, let's get back to the PFL. PFL 1 results. There was a lot of fun fights on this card, gotta say. We already went over Jason Jackson and Jesus Pinedo. Logan Storley defeats Joseph Luciano via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. Now, if Luciano wasn't facing Logan Storley, as we know, there was a lot of matchups that were switched up on this card. Many people fell out. Many matchups were switched around last second. So if you had bets and your guy won and you placed them before the card started, your bet probably was voided, unfortunately, just like our parlay. More to come on that in this week's wins. But Logan Storley defeats Joseph Luciano, and Movlid Kaibulaev defeats Jeremy Kennedy via split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. Very close fight there. Jeremy Kennedy landing some big strikes, cutting it. Lots of blood, lots of gore in this fight, but Kaibulaev does what he does. He wrestles himself to a win. On the prelims, Thad Jean defeats Muhammad Berkamov via knockout punches. Round 1, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Shout out to the Silverback. All right. Shout out to the Gorillas. Shout out to Thad Jean. Shout out to the Haitians. Shout out to IET. Gabriel Braga defeats Fred Duperis via submission with a face crank. Round 1, 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Shout out to Gabriel Braga. Gets himself a win now, but he gets a chance to avenge his TKO loss to Jesus Pinedo. He's added a lot of wrinkles to his game. We can see he's added lots of grappling recently. He's got a submission game now. He's always had heavy hands and great striking. If he can mix them all up very well, he can get himself a trilogy win against Jesus Pinedo. Masayuki Kikiori defeats Giannis Bankar via TKO retirement. Round 2, 5 minutes. Shout out to Masayuki Kikiori. Had him in the parlay. It didn't cash, but hey, if I was home, I would have put money on him and I would have won. And Tycoon Kim, shout out to Monster House, getting a big win over Nathan Kelly via submission. Rear naked choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Hey, if I give you guys a tip on a fight team, you should motherfucking listen, okay? Fighting Nerds, what's up? Longo and Weidman, MMA, what's up? Monster House, what's up? I got more on the way, don't worry. I know about these teams, man. Goat Shed, what's up? Yeah. Don't forget about these gems I've been giving you guys all year. When we bet with these teams, we win money. Don't forget that. Tycoon Kim and Monster House. Chang Ho Lee, Monster House. Shout out to the killers at Monster House. Shout out to the monsters at Monster House. You feel me? And that completes my coverage of the PFL 1 card. Let's get into some boxing. Lots of boxing this weekend. We had 3 boxing cards, yo. 3 fat little boxing cards. I got lots to talk about. Fat little boxing cards. Wrong one. Richard Torrez Jr. versus Guido Vianello. This card was fun. This was a fun little boxing card, man. We got some up and comers. We got some heavyweights throwing bombs. Let's talk about it. Torres defeats Vianello via unanimous decision, 97-92, 98-91, 98-91. Torres landing hammers. Bro, he had him out on his feet, sleepwalking at one point. It was crazy. Go back and watch the highlights of that fight. Richard Torres got some lead in those hands. He got some adamantium in those bones. That boy is strong. He's built like something else, man. He looks like Nacho from fucking what was that wrestling movie with Jack Black? Nacho Libre. He looks like Nacho Libre, bro. But he got some fucking weight in those hands, and he puts them on some boys in that squared circle. My lord. Lindolfo Delgado defeats Elvis Rodriguez via majority decision, 95-95, 96-94, 96-94. Abdullah Mason defeats Carlos Ornelas via TKO, round 6. Abdullah Mason dropped this man like 3 to 4 times. Abdullah Mason had no worries in there. He was just beating this man up and having his way. Getting himself another easy win. Shout out to Abdullah Mason and his team. Ooh, man, we need to start giving him some good matchups because the way he's doing to some of these people in that ring is just unfair. Albert Gonzalez defeats Dana Coolwell via unanimous decision, 78-74, 77-75, 80-72. Steven Navarro defeats Juan Esteban Garcia via TKO, round 4, 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Art Barrera Jr. defeats Dajon Gonzalez by TKO, round 2, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Jahi Tucker defeats Troy Williamson via unanimous decision, 99-89, 99-89, 99-89. Now that's an ass whooping. If you want to see one-sided fight, go ahead and watch that. Demier Zamora defeats Hugo Alberto Castaneda Marroquin via TKO, round 4, 1 minute and 24 seconds. If you have a super long last name, probably not going to end well for you. And Sammy Contreras Jr. defeats Roberto Jimenez via TKO, round 1, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And that's it for that card. Now, Joyce took on Filip Hrgovic. It didn't go well for my boy. Didn't go well. Hrgovic defeats Joyce via unanimous decision. After 10 rounds, judges scored the fight 97-93, 96-95, 98-92. Unfortunately, seemingly so, Joyce retires after the fight. He retires after the loss. He doesn't think he has it anymore. He seems to slow down, and he seems to think that the Joyce from a couple years ago, maybe even a few years ago, would have still been in this fight and even taken it pretty easily. But the Joyce that showed up tonight just didn't have it. And it seems like he may have called it quits for his career. And if he has, shout out to Joyce. He's given us a bunch of great heavyweight fun fights. Congratulations on a fantastic career. But if this is in fact it for you and you're putting the gloves down, thank you for all the entertainment. David Adelaide defeats Jimmy Tskeva by TKO round 6, 55 seconds. Jack Rafferty defeats Corey O'Regan by TKO round 5, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Delicious Ori defeats Milos Vletic via points, 40-36 across the board. Khalil Majid defeats Alex Murphy via unanimous decision, 96-94, 97-94, 96-95. Roston Barney Smith defeats Cesar Ignacio Paredes via points, 80-72. Mark Chamberlain defeats Miguel Angel Scarini by points, 80-72. Nelson Birchall defeats Rodrigo Matias Areco via KO, round 1. Ramtin Musa defeats Robbie Chapman via points, 40-36. Luis Seto defeats Nabil Ahmed by points, 38-37. And Alfie Milmas defeats Alexander Morales by points, 40-37. Oh, right. For those that were wondering, that was in Manchester, England. And Richard Torrez Jr. versus Guido Vianello was in Las Vegas, Nevada. But Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic was from Manchester, England. And now we have a fight from Australia, baby. Tszyu took on Joseph Spencer. Okay? Joseph Spencer. And guess what? Tszyu knocks him out in round 4. TKO, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Tszyu landed about 115 strike combo at the end of that fight. Okay? Hook, 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 hook. Body, body, body. Hook, hook, hook. Uppercut, uppercut. Hook, 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 hook. It was crazy. It was crazy. He was just blasting Joey Spencer. If I was Joey Spencer, my head would have been scrambled eggs. Scrambled fucking eggs. He was just getting slapped around in there. I'm so glad the referee called that, because if he let him stay around in that fight, that is brain damage that we don't need to see, because that was a lot of strikes and powerful strikes. Powerful strikes, powerful, fast strikes, just kept landing over and over and over again. So Tszyu proved that he's back. He's still got the speed. He's still got the power. He's still got the ring generalship. He's still got the veteran savvy. Tszyu still got the win. Tszyu, what a win to headline the card. Wow. What a statement. Liam Taliva defeats Brandon Graj via TKO round 5, 1 minute and 8 seconds. Endry Sarevdra, I butchered that, defeats Mikkel Nielsen via TKO round 8, 1 minute and 42 seconds. Cohen Mazudye defeats Dan Hill via unanimous decision, 189, 99, 90, 98, 91. Callum Peters defeats William Lenahan via TKO round 1. Sia Sete defeats Brent Walton via unanimous decision, 48-46 across the board. And on the prelims, Blake Wells defeats Andre Mikhailovich via split decision, 59-55, 56-58, 58-56. Cody Beacon defeats Ryan Day via TKO round 2. And Cooper O'Connell defeats Benjamin Amos, like famous Amos, by TKO in round 2. And that was the Tszyu Joseph Spencer card. Now we got some upcoming cards in boxing we got to look out for in the next coming weeks. Don't worry if you miss them, I'll cover them for you next Sunday and the Sundays coming up. But we got some boxing fights coming up. April 12th, 6 days from now in Atlantic City, New Jersey, on DAZN, we have a title fight between Jaron Ennis and Almantas Stanionis. 12 rounds for Ennis's IBF welterweight title and Staniosis's WBA welterweight title. That is Atlantic City, New Jersey next week. Look out for that. That's going to be a fun fight. April 19th in Oceanside, California, also on DAZN, Gabby Fundora defends her belt, her undisputed belt, by the way, all the belts she has, against Marilyn Badillo. 10 rounds for Fundora's undisputed flyweight championship. That's right. Undisputed and unified at flyweight. That's your girl, Gabby Fundora. Charles Conwell versus George Garcia Perez is also on that card. That's 12 rounds at junior middleweight. Also on April 19th, but from Sheffield, England, but also on DAZN, Dalton Smith is taking on Mathieu Germain, 12 rounds at junior welterweight. Ishmael Davis is also fighting on that card against Ryan Kelly, 12 rounds at junior middleweight. And Josh Warrington is taking on Asad Akif Khan, 10 rounds at junior lightweight. On April 26th in London on DAZN, Chris Eubank Jr. is taking on Conor Benn, 12 rounds at middleweight. Don't forget about Egggate. Took the egg out the pocket, smacked him across the face with it. Don't forget, that's going to be a good fight. It's a grudge match. These boys hate each other. May 2nd, New York City, DAZN pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Rolly Romero, 12 rounds, junior welterweights. Also, plenty of other fights on that card. Too many to name. That's why I only said the headliner. May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on DAZN pay-per-view. Title fight, Canelo Alvarez taking on William Skull. 12 rounds for Alvarez's WBC, WBO, and WBA super middleweight titles and Skull's IBF super middleweight title. May 4th in Las Vegas on ESPN and ESPN Plus, title fight between Naoya Inoue and Ramon Cardenas. 12 rounds for Inoue's undisputed junior featherweight championship. I've been hearing rumblings that the opponent has dropped out and there will be a replacement opponent. I do not know if those rumors are true. I hope that Cardenas stays on the card. If not, it is what it is. May 10th in San Diego on ESPN and ESPN Plus, we have a title fight between Emmanuel Navarrete. He's taking on Charlie Suarez. 12 rounds for Navarrete's WBO junior lightweight title. And that is the upcoming boxing slate for the next coming weeks. If you love boxing, go ahead and mark your schedule because we're chalked up for the next fucking 5 weeks, boxing almost every week. So, yeah. And now for our favorite segment of the week, bitch. That's right. That's motherfucking right. That's right. That's motherfucking right. It's this week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. It's this week's wins, baby. And of course, I'm happy because we didn't lose again. Now, I know what you're probably looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Both the parlays lost. I know both the parlays lost. But if you remember, I gave you guys this. I gave you guys a one more round PFL parlay with these 4 names: Umlatov, Kabulayev, Braga, Luciano. And guess what? It cashed. Okay? So don't be hating. Start appreciating, okay? Because whatever money you put in, you got more than you put in, didn't you? And it cashed. So I put 50 on it. It brought back 57. It is what it is. It's still plus money in the sense that I got money back, not plus money because it was a minus 699, as you can see at the fucking top there, because 3 of my goddamn legs were voided. But it's all good. It's all good because we got money back. And that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. Now, the PFL High didn't cash. Jason Jackson did cash. That Gene did cash. And Masayuki Kikiori did cash. But our boy Adam Boric, I should have put Taekyoon Kim in there over Nathan Kelly. But I put Adam Boric and I fucked up. And the high risk did not cash. So if you took part in the high risk parlay, I'm sorry that we did not cash, unfortunately. And I gave you guys this UFC parlay. Joe Anderson Brito cooked it, but hopefully you cashed on the Chang Ho Lee and the over 1.5 and the over 2.5 in the Brad Tavares and Gerald Meerschaert fight. And unfortunately, most of these picks took an L except for Brad Tavares, but Frunza, Valentin, and Gruel all took Alex. So I'm sorry if you lost on those picks. But like I tell you every week, if you show up for Sunday, you got to show up for Friday. Because Friday is where I give you guys inside picks for Saturday. And unfortunately, this week I was working in LA, so I had to do the stream on Saturday. And it is what it is. But if you showed up Saturday, which was just a few hours before the card, I gave you guys some gems. And let's go over those gems, shall we? Let's go over those motherfucking gems. Now, Martin Budai, I told you guys his opponent came in on short notice. This is either a fight and KO situation, so no matter who gets the KO, you win, or a Budai decision. Easy Budai decision. And guess what, motherfucker? Budai decision cashed. Easy money. You know how I do small units on the fight night cards? But we got a big unit card coming next week. UFC 314, Volkanovski, Lopes next week. So you know the units will be growing next week. Come on down. We got money to make. But Budai wins by decision, catches us, $35 there? Nice little win off a $5 bet. Gotta love it. You're welcome. You're welcome if you took that. Now, I also gave you guys a huge freaking gem. Okay? Dion Barbosa, submission round 1. Okay? And I hope you took it because that's exactly what happened. Turn a little 10-piece into $70 this time. Shout out to Dion Barbosa getting that submission in round 1. We had 40 seconds left on the clock for her to do it, but she gets it done. She's going to go in our one more round Hall of Fame because if you can do exactly what I called for, like I call it, well, I got to appreciate you. So shout out to Dion Barbosa and shout out to her and her team. Then we moved on to Robert Valentin. We thought we were going to get the Robert Valentin decision win. We thought we were going to get the Robert Valentin money line win. We thought we were going to get the finish wins. None of those happened, but we cashed on the over 1.5. Shout out to Luke on that pick, bringing back $40 to the channel. Gotta love it. Little $10 bets. Minus 150. Easy wins. Easy wins. This was an over 2.5 situation. I wish I bet that too. It didn't go our way. It is what it is. It is what it is. And shout out to Luke again on this pick with the O'Day Osborne. I had to throw a little money on O'Day Osborne, bringing back a nice little 30-piece. Little $5 bet to bring back that 30-piece again. So appreciate it at a plus 220, plus 210. Easy money again. Easy money again. Now, back to my picks that I gave you guys. If you showed up on Saturday, again, I gave you guys Chang Ho Lee, monster fight team. I told you that team's doing big things. Told you they're on the rise right now. Bet them now while you can. And guess what? Our boy cashed it. That's right, plus 450. $5 on both, bringing back $60. Well, $55. You got to love it. Don't got to spend too much cash to bring back a whole lot. So got to love when a plus 450 cashes for us. Chang Ho Lee by KO. I thought it was going to be around 3. It ended up being around 2, I believe. But it is what it is. You know, we still get the win. Very happy there. And then most of my parlays died, but I had a decision parlay. So my TKO parlay was Chang Ho Lee TKO, Joe Anderson Brito TKO parlayed, which would have brought back, I believe, $200 on each app. Unfortunately, Joe Anderson Brito shit the bed for us. And then my other parlay was Brad Tavares points and Lerone Murphy points parlay. And guess what? Oh, yeah, that cashed. That cashed. Little 15 to bring back 60 on DraftKings. Little 15 to bring back 70 on FanDuel. You got to love it. $130 on 2 fights. 2 fights. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Should have gave this parlay out to the peoples. Didn't do it. Kept it to myself. Gatekeeped like a motherfucker. But hey, sometimes you got it if you want to win. You can't give them all out. You can't give them all out, right? Now let's talk about the crown jewels of the weekend. We did the simulation, and Josh Emmett had 2 takedowns. So you know I was going to bet 1 takedown. You know I was going to bet 2 takedowns. And I saw that the books gave us crazy odds on 3 takedowns. They gave us crazy odds on 4 takedowns. They gave us crazy odds on 5 takedowns. The crazy degenerate that I am, of course, I'm betting every single one of those props. Lest we forget, Josh Emmett is a wrestler. 14 years of wrestling. Lerone Murphy is a soccer player. Right on time with that ESPN. Soccer player, people. He is a soccer player. You thought he was going to you think the pride that Josh Emmett has in 14 years of wrestling was going to let Lerone Murphy take him down 5 times? The books had it at 4.5 for Lerone Murphy. I stayed so fucking far away from that 4.5. You have no idea. I was on the other side of the goddamn planet. Okay. And I seen that Josh Emmett at 1 takedown was damn near plus 400. Oh my Lord. I jumped on that so goddamn quick. I put that bet in multiple times. Okay. and I cashed out fucking marvelously. Let's go over it. Round 1, baby. 1 takedown. I did it 2 times on FanDuel because you can't do multiple round 1. I'm sorry, you can't do multiple takedowns on FanDuel unless they set their line there. So I did the 1 takedown, Josh Emmett, 50 at plus 310, 23 at plus 290. Cashes for $90 and $205. That's $300 on FanDuel just from 1 takedown on Josh Emmett, and $240 on DraftKings from 1 takedown off a $50 bet at plus 380. Okay? How fucking gorgeous is that? Absolutely freaking gorgeous. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. Thank you, Josh Emmett, for getting that first takedown in round 1. Cashing it so easily. Bringing back how much? Bringing back 240, 300, 445, $335 off 1 takedown. Thank you, Josh Emmett. Thank you, my boy. Thank you. And you know, I took 2 as well, because that's what happened in the simulation, guys. 2 takedowns. Yeah, baby. 2 takedowns. Couldn't bet it on FanDuel, but I took it on DraftKings twice at plus 900, threw $10 on both, $200 right there. $20 and $200 off 2 takedowns. Now we're at $535 on takedowns from Josh Emmett. We're at $535 just from takedowns on Josh Emmett. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Eric Bolden in the chat. Josh Emmett built like a damn armadillo. You know he wasn't going to get bullied. Cash, baby. Cash. You already know. And guess what? We took 3 as well. We took 3 takedowns. Threw 5 on the 3 takedowns to bring back $85. That's right. That's right. We're at $600 on takedowns from Josh Emmett. We're at $625 on takedowns from Josh Emmett, people. And we're not done. That's the crazy part. I took 4 as well. $5 on a 4th takedown. $130 back. $750 on Josh Emmett takedowns. I hope you cashed as well, because I told you guys, I literally showed you on stream as I was putting my bets in. As soon as I seen that Josh Emmett 1 takedown was plus 385, I did it so fast in case the books were changing and made a mistake. Josh Emmett 1 takedown on both apps. Then I went back before the stream, 2 takedowns on DraftKings, 3 takedowns on DraftKings, 4 takedowns on DraftKings. And when you make moves like that, bro, what was that? I spent $5. 10, that's 20. 5, that's 25. Another 5, that's 30. That's $30. $30 to bring back about $500 on takedowns. That was the easiest money I've made on this channel. Absolute easiest money I've made on this channel. And I'm so glad it happened on the last fight of the night, because it was going to be about a minus 300 night. And it turned into a plus 500 night, just like that. So shout out to Josh Emmett. Shout out to his team. Oh, wait. You thought I was done with this week's wins? Oh, you thought I was done? So I had a little FOMO because I missed out on the Tszyu and the Richard Torrez fights. I missed out on boxing. I missed out. So you know what I did? I looked and I saw that F1 was starting at 1 a.m. We hopped off stream at 12. Me and my girl chilled. We ate food. She fell asleep. And F1 came on. And your boy looked at what happened last year. And Max Verstappen started in pole position last year at the Japanese Grand Prix. He ended in pole position. And he won the race. Okay? And he started this year in pole position. So you know I had to take Max Verstappen to win the race. And on DraftKings, that's exactly what I did. I took some of them winnings that we made on Josh Emmett, and I flipped them even more, baby. 25, 28, 25. $75 to bring back 79, plus 62, plus 70. That's 200. More than doubled our money, baby. More than doubled our money just on DraftKings. Shout out to Max Verstappen winning the Japanese Grand Prix in 2025. And you know I had to do it on FanDuel too, bitch. That's right. Did it there. $12, $20, and a 37.50 bonus bet. Bringing back 27, 60, 73. Gotta love it. More than doubling the money again. Shout out to Max Verstappen. Shout out to F1. Shout out to me. Shout out to Emmett. Shout out to Monster Fight Team. Shout out to Ode Osborne. Shout out to Robert Valentine. Shout out to Torres Finney. Shout out to Dion Barbosa. Shout out to Martin Budai. Shout out to Movlid Kabulaev. Shout out to the PFL. Shout out to the UFC. Shout out to F1. We fucking won, baby. And that's why this was another great episode of what? This week's wins. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. Feels good. Feels good to get that off my chest. Now let's get into these PFL picks. We got PFL 2 next week. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Now, if you really want my real picks, because I think this card's on Friday. 4/11 will be Friday? Oh no, is it on fucking Thursday again? Oh, you on Thursday again? What day is April 11th? Oh, god damn it. Oh no, it's Friday. April 11th is Friday. We're good. So if you guys want my real picks for PFL, like in depth, come on down Friday to the CP Units stream. It's going to be a long one. We're going to have at least 6 fights on that card. So be prepared. Be prepared to rock with us. Maybe we'll have Luke come in on Friday. Maybe Luke will join us on the channel. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a couple of guests because it's going to be a long one. I'm going to need a little help to dissect this shit. So maybe I'll have him in. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So these are my picks for PFL 2. I'm going to just give you guys a few names. Leandro Higo, I think he'll get the job done. I expect Tyler Santos to get the job done. Liz Carmouche, I expect to get the job done. And Kana Watanabe, I expect to get the job done. I'm going heavily with the ladies in the PFL next weekend. I'm rocking with the ladies next weekend. It's a ladies' weekend, okay? Clearly showcasing the ladies next weekend. Go ahead and take a look at the card. Clearly showcasing the ladies. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, that's what they're doing. I mean, Tyler Santos versus Juliana Velasquez is headlining the card, okay? Liz Carmouche is headlining the prelims against Alara Joanne. Kana Watanabe is taking on Jenna Bishop. Deanna Azvagovia or whatever is taking on Alora Dana. And it starts the card off with Katerina Shakalova taking on Soraya Rashko. So, yeah, women's flyweight tournament in full effect. And then we got the bantamweights in PFL. So don't forget PFL next week. It's going to be a fun card. Check it out. But come on back Friday for CP Units right here on this channel. And then let me give you some PFL picks before I get some UFC picks before I get the fuck up out of here. Obviously, we're rocking with Volk. There's no way we're not rocking with Volk. We got an Aussie on the team. Luke knows. So I'm also rocking with Patty Pimblett. Luke's going to be rocking with Bryce Mitchell, but I'm going to be rocking with Gene Silva. You know I rock with them fighting nerds. And if Gene Silva wins, you can bet your fucking ass he's going to be my fighter spotlight next week. And then I think I'm also going to rock with Patricio Pitbull to get the job done against Yair and Julian Juicy J. Arosa. I like Juicy J. I feel like he's going to get a win. Extreme Couture doing pretty good. They just got to win with Brad Tavares. They got to keep that motion going. So I think Juicy J gets a nice big win here. But yeah, that's it. That does it for me, y'all. That does it for me. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. Okay. Sponsors, hit me up. Hit me the fuck up. I want a weed sponsor. I want a snack sponsor. I want a drink sponsor. I don't care if it's Saratoga water. Hit me up. Okay. Hit me up. Don't forget to follow on social. Main Card Minute. Scan the QR code on your left. One more round. Scan the QR code on your right. We're moving. We're trying to get to 500 subs now, and then we're going to be on our way to 1,000. So don't worry. We're moving. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow on social, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and it's on X. It's a little different. One more round F8. Send your wins into one more round fights at gmail.com. I want to see them. I want to see how much money we're all making. We better be making some money out here. And then, hey, if you don't start sending shits to one more round fights at gmail.com, there's going to be a time where I stop fucking looking at that motherfucker. There's going to be a time where I stop looking at that bitch. So you better start sending them in. I'm telling you, because when I stop looking, I ain't looking back. I am not looking back. And if you don't know already, I'm your host, Gaff. I do this shit every Friday, every Sunday. Come on down this Friday for CP units. We're going to have another nice bet. Hopefully it cashes. But yeah, it is what it is. Shout out to Thad Gene. Shout out to Jason Jackson. Shout out to Josh Emmett. Shout out to Max Verstappen. Shout out to Dion Barbosa. Shout out to everyone that brought us some money home. And I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for coming on down. Shout out to everybody in the chat that came through. Shout out to Eric Bolden. Shout out to Lazy Bed. Shout out to Manicured Across McGoonia. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to the whole squad. Thanks for coming, y'all. See you next week.